strokes the three from the left wing.
Gagliardi, why not? He's feeling it. He's from three.
Goodness. Junior down the lane, drops to Rainwater for a two-handed slam.
That's what you do. He will tear down a rim this year.
Largey able to blow by the pressure. Now a lob. Rivers throws it down. Cato tries it again. You bet. Caleb Cato, back-to-back threes.
Hey everyone, and welcome to the 26th episode of Screecher Report. This is Russell on the mic, or Viva La Russ on Twitter. My co-host, Elliott, he is unavailable at the time of this recording as he has just stormed Area 51. After that, he's going to go look for Bigfoot and the Loch Ness Monster. But this week, it's just going to be me. I'm flying solo, but we're going to make up for that with an extra interview at the end here. In a few minutes, we'll be speaking with Brian Ross. He is the founder, the creator of the new Twitter page and brand ASUN Pros. They've been doing really good stuff in their short amount of time, just covering all the professional athletes that have come out of ASUN schools, and it's just really entertaining and good bit of information. He's also got a podcast, so look out for that. And of course, we will be continuing our interviews with all the FGCU men's basketball newcomers. This week is Duquesne transfer Tavian Dunn-Martin. So we're going to go ahead and get started with those interviews, and we'll do them back to back and just to finish up the pod. Thank you guys for listening. We have Brian Ross here. He's a UNF grad and the founder of the new and exciting Twitter account and brand ASUN Pros. That's at ASUN Pros, ASUN PROS.
Hey Russell, thanks for having me. I really appreciate
how you been,
my
man?
Podcast debut. I'm doing well. Things have started to pick up with this new Twitter page and the new brand podcast as well, interviewing professional athletes from the ASUN. And I've recently started to get into more sports other than baseball and basketball. That's what I started on. Just kind of get a foundation on what I was doing. Recently started to dive into some professional soccer, researching more and more ASUN Pros every day. Try to cover them all.
Sure. And there's, especially with soccer, you got your hands full there. Soccer, swimming, diving. It's like you find out somebody from your school's in the Olympics. You're like, oh, damn. Anyway, so you're a UNF grad, like we said. We're at Screecher Report, we're FGCU grads, and we cover strictly basketball. So that's where our focus is. But man, did our basketball teams have some battles back in the day, huh?
Some of the stats here, and just to kind of refresh. It's been a fun battle. I can remember going to the game, I believe in 2015. Probably it was 2015 when UNF won the title. We played Gulf Coast on our home court, and I think it was our first time in like 2 years winning. And we decided me and a select few others decided to rush the court.
Yeah, man, I know that feeling. I was always envious because you guys serve like alcohol and stuff at your games, right?
Yes, they still serve beer at UNF basketball games.
Yeah, man, that's like FGCU has always been a dry campus at games, and I'm like, okay, I guess we got to wait till after the game to really celebrate. But anyway, 2011, 2012 was our freshman year, and first it was kind of FGCU and Mercer, and then it was sort of, you guys and FGCU, then Lipscomb started coming on strong, and then, of course, Liberty joining the conference a couple years ago, and they've been the top dog, but the balance of power has really shifted. But my point being that UNF and FGCU had several year run where they were, the top two teams, and it was just definitely a really good time to watch basketball. You guys had some teams with Dallas Moore and his floater would just break your heart if you're not Osprey fan, and Bo Beach and just all those guys. It was fun to watch that team, and obviously fun to root against them on our account.
Yeah, talk about Dallas Moore, man. Was he fun to watch? Talk about, you need a bucket, somebody you can count on. Just give it to him, and he'll find a way to get to the hole. Bo Beach was a fan favorite as well, being from Ponte Vedra. A lot of the Jacksonville locals ride around him. you put on a good show at the NCAA tournament when UNF made it against Robert Morris in 2015. But, yeah, I mean, it's been a good run. It's almost like UNF was starting to take over in the ASUN after Gold Coast had made their runs. Just couldn't get to that next level that Gold Coast was at, unfortunately. But we're still doing well. You know, we're doing good in academics, continuing to move along. I think it should be interesting this year with 3 new schools in the ASUN. Should really spice things up. You know, I haven't honestly looked that much about. I haven't done much research on Jacksonville State, Central Arkansas, and Eastern Kentucky's basketball programs. I've honestly been doing some ASUN football research, getting excited about that.
Yeah, we'll see how that looks.
Yeah, and if you're listening to this, check out the AQ7 podcast. That's a good podcast to learn more about FCS football and ASUN football. I was listening to it the other day, and it's pretty good listen, lot of good information.
Cool. And so I mean, recently, not a few weeks ago, maybe a month, this new ASUN Pros page pops up on Twitter, and I'm here talking with the founder of that idea and page. What made you start doing this? I know the conference is growing. There's a lot of there's more history every year, but sort of what's your goal behind that?
So let's go back. I moved back to Jacksonville in December. Unfortunately, my mother passed away in July. I moved back to Jacksonville after I graduated, back home down south in Fort Lauderdale, and moved back up here once everything got settled with her passing, and kind of continue my life and move up here back with my friends, and got back to study for law school, which is I had always thought I wanted to do, and just wasn't really enjoying it. I emailed Nick Morrow, who's now the athletic director here at UNF. Nick was my former professor, so I always kept within reach with him. And I emailed him, hey, is there any volunteer opportunities with UNF? Got a response within an hour. Reached out to the SID at UNF for baseball and ESPN Plus, Brock Borgeson, and we just hit the ground running, just volunteering for UNF, the athletics department, and just trying to figure out how I can continue to take things further and improve my skills to get a job within the sports industry, and just brainstorming ideas. I was thinking about Ospreys and the pros. I was just thinking, how can I go bigger, or just, and then just decide, let's go ASUN pros. And one day I think I had the account made for 2 days, whatever, and wasn't going to start tweeting until a certain day. And then one day I was just like, let's screw it, let's just start tweeting. And the first tweet I did was a retweet of the Orioles lineup when Austin Hayes was playing, with no real plan or schedule. And now I've got a full-blown schedule of what I want to tweet, when I want to tweet, ideas to tweet about. So it's just really an idea that's grown into something that's helping me strengthening my communication skills, my networking skills, making new friends like yourself, and just, meeting new people, because I really didn't do that the last couple of years of my life. And so ready to make a change into the sports industry, and happy to announce, instead of volunteering with UNF, I will be actually working part-time in the fall as an ESPN Plus game day assistant, working in the control room and working behind the camera sometimes. I'm going to start as soon as September with some volleyball games.
Hey, that's awesome, man. And, that's awesome. You're, sort of trying to move things around and push through some stuff in your life. And it's great that you were on a track that that you thought you wanted to be on, and turns out you didn't, but, you're finding a way to something that you do want. And all of us at Screecher Report aren't technically in the sports media and stuff like that. We started this because we want more news, and there wasn't enough, so we decided to make it. It's kind of our short tagline and reason. So, we're in the same business, like I'm saying. Our backgrounds don't come in that. We're making those contacts and reaching out to people and we're glad to have you as a friend of the pod too. So we wish you luck there. But I did want to ask, being that we do cover FGCU over here, your most recent podcast was with a legend from FGCU from those Dunk City Sweet 16 days, Chase Feeler. What was it like talking to him? He's been playing professionally out of the country for a long time now. And what was it like? Just tell us a little bit about that interview.
Yeah, Chase is a great guy, I have to say. Chase was actually one of the first, probably a handful of athletes to follow me. I started the page, and I just started tweeting left and right. I don't know. One of the very early retweets that I got that helped me was by Lipscomb University. They retweeted one of my tweets about one of their ball players, and Chase followed me out of nowhere, and I was on top of the world. I was just so happy, and I just started a new page, and I mean, Chase Feeler, Dunk City, it just followed me, and here I am, very excited. I reached out to Chase, and he says, my pleasure. And he was thankful for me creating the page, and that's what honestly a lot of these athletes that I've chatted with have said. They're thankful that I'm covering themselves and the ASUN. More importantly, a lot of attention is drawn to the ASUN after these guys move on, from the United States. It was a good time. It was a good chat, and got to learn a little bit more about him personally and more about his time at Gold Coast. I'm looking forward to interviewing Bernard Thompson next. I got in contact with him today, so should be looking to do that, release that in late August or sometime in September.
For sure. Bernard was great for the program too, obviously. He's the most points in program history, all 4 years with us, and so I'm sure that'll be a good interview. But to speak to your point about, it's these guys have such storied careers for their university and for the fans for those 4 years or however long they're at the school, and then they might not go off into the NBA. They might not go off into whatever, stateside professional sport league that there is, but they're playing professionally in Germany and somewhere South America or just something of that nature, and they still have professional careers. They're still balling out, and so it's always good to get them on. We try to get a couple of legends every off season, just kind of going on that schedule, but it's definitely awesome for the conference too, just to have a brand like this, like that you're doing, to cover those guys. But anyways, I did listen to the Chase Feeler episode. It is excellent. And FGCU fans, ASUN fans, you should definitely, go ahead and listen and check it out. But that's really it from our end. We want to thank you for coming on. It was great having you, talking shop a little bit. If you ever mosey on down to Fort Myers for a FGCU UNF game, we'll have to catch a beer or something beforehand or whatever your drink of choice may be. Thank you for coming on, man.
Definitely, Russell. I appreciate the invite. Thanks for reaching out to me and inviting me on. I had a great time chatting with you, and definitely take it up on that offer. We definitely have to grab a beer sometime at Fort Myers if I make it down there. I don't know if it's this season, but you never know. So we'll play things by ear, and hopefully we'll chat again soon.
Yes, sir. Thank you very much. So we want to welcome a big-time newcomer to the podcast. I'm talking about 5'8", 155-pound point guard, transfer from Duquesne, Tavian Dunn-Martin. How you doing today, man?
I'm doing real good. How are you?
Not too bad. Happy the week's over, but before we continue, congrats on becoming a father this offseason. I saw some of those posts on, Instagram and whatnot. Congratulations to you.
Thank you. I really appreciate it.
Of course. And before we get started further, so you're from I was doing research on you for our article coming out soon. You're from the Huntington, West Virginia area. West Virginia has been really good to FGCU in particular. We've had guys like Chase Feeler, and then way in the early days, Ryan Hopkins and Brian Chrislip, all coming from Parkersburg, which is, I think I looked, and it's about an hour away from Huntington, something like that. By any chance, did you know any of those guys?
No, I didn't know any of those guys.
We obviously hope to have some of the same success with you that we've had with those guys. Like I said, West Virginia's been really good to Southwest Florida for whatever reason. But just to get to know you a little bit, I guess just kind of tell the people a little bit more about yourself, favorite food, restaurant, favorite book or movie, last song you listened to, and of course, PlayStation or Xbox.
Okay, so let's start off. I play PlayStation, or I play Fortnite a little bit. I play 2K, Call of Duty, Cold War. My favorite food, probably Mexican. I like a good Mexican spot. Love chips and salsa. I have 9 siblings. I also played baseball, football before college. Favorite color, blue. That's really, it's really mostly about. I just work out and chill. So I don't really do too much.
Heard. So just, to transition back to basketball, you played your freshman season at Akron, had a really productive year by, freshman standards at least, on a really good team, transferred to Duquesne the following season, won 6th man in a good conference, really good scorer, productive player. I guess, can you just talk about your journey through all those programs and how you ended up choosing FGCU?
So freshman, I chose Akron because the coaching staff, I really liked the coaching staff. I believed in them. I felt like it was a really good position for me to learn how to play the game of college basketball and learn how to win in the high level. So that's why I chose Akron. And then after my first year, my coach left and went to Duquesne, and he asked me to come and a few others. So I decided to go. Then I set out my first year at Duquesne. Then I played 3 years at Duquesne. And now I chose FGCU. Chose FGCU because the style of play is how I like to play. Fast-paced, up and down, shoot threes, throw lobs, get the crowd going. And I felt just like at Duquesne, it just wasn't the right system for me. I still have love for all the coaches, all the players at Duquesne, all the fans. I still love Duquesne. It's my home, so there's no beef between me and Duquesne. Well, I hope not. There's no beef on my side, and I just wanted my last year, best opportunity for me to play at the next level. Also to have my son in a better position than I was growing up. So it's just all about what's best for me and my family, my girlfriend and my son. So I really got to look out for them, and this was probably the best decision for me. So that's why I chose FGCU.
Cool. We're definitely happy to have you over here. Excited to see what everyone's going to do. So you're listed at 5'8", 155 pounds, which is obviously on the smaller side, on paper. But we've watched highlights since you announced that you were coming over here, and it definitely doesn't seem like size has been something that's held you back. Can you speak to sort of playing as a quote-unquote undersized guard and how you make that work?
Yeah, it started off when I was little, just working out with my dad, seeing that I was just, I was always the shortest one out there on the court. And people used to make fun of my height. People used to say that I couldn't play D1. I'm not going to be able to play college basketball because I'm so short. And that just fueled me. That just made me want to go harder, grind harder. I feel like it's really no pressure on me. It's more pressure on the other people that have to defend me or play against me. Because at the end of the day, they're going to be like, oh, this little dude, he just outplayed you. Basically, everyone thinks it's about height. I just play the game that I love to my best of my ability, so it's not really a problem for me. It's been since my freshman year, my sophomore year of high school is when I really stopped caring about what people had to say about my height and was just playing the game that I love to my full potential.
That's awesome. And, based on those same highlights, you look like you're quick, a good shooter, and a pretty good slasher too. Do you agree with that? I guess overall, what kind of player do you view yourself as on the court?
I feel like I'm a scoring playmaker. I like to get my teammates involved. I also can score the ball from I say mid-range. I say all three levels, but people might say otherwise. But I just a scoring playmaker. Just get everybody involved, pass, play defense, score when I need to. Yeah, that's what I say my best attributes are.
Okay. And we had Carlos Rosario on here a couple weeks ago, and he mentioned getting some work in with you and working with you on the same teams and stuff like that in drills. Anybody else you've been getting work in with or spending time with? And did you know anybody else on the team prior to coming here?
I didn't know anybody on the team before I came here. But I've been getting in some work with Matt, Andre Ware, just most of the big guys and some of the guards, just because our offense is about to be ran. It's going to be me and the bigs having a feel for each other, and me and the guards having a feel for each other, just being ready to shoot the ball and knock it down. So I feel like I've been working with everybody, to get everybody better and well gelled together before the season.
Heard. And lots of experience coming in, including you, and also lots of talent coming back with guys like Caleb and Cyrus, Dakota, Luis, etc. Where do you see yourself fitting in, and what do you feel like you bring to the table that is sort of unique to you?
I feel like I fit in. I fit in with everybody. My job, my responsibility this year is be able to lead, bring energy every day. Trying to keep everyone positive, level-headed, try to not have as many ups and downs, and just hit the ball in the hole and play defense and just try to be a good leader. So I feel like that's what my role is this year. I'm going to try to do the best that I can.
Very cool. And lastly, just to wrap things up, what are your personal and or team goals for the rest of the off season and then for the upcoming year?
Okay, personally, just to get better every day, to get my mental better every day. This is probably the farthest I've ever been away from home, and also like with my son not being here with me, it's a lot to take on by myself. But I just got to be strong, and for the team, I just want all of us to get better. I want to go to the NCAA tournament, and I think this is the team that can do it and make a little run in the tournament. So just everyone just keeps their head, plays the role, and does what they're supposed to do. I think we can do something.
Yes, sir. We want to thank you for coming on, for joining the podcast. I'd love to talk again at some point, maybe at a practice, maybe after a game, after you drop 30 or something like that in a post-game press conference, whatever it may be. But thank you for coming on, man. We appreciate it.
Thanks for having me. Appreciate it.
Once again, thank you guys for listening to the Screecher Report podcast. As always, we appreciate it, and stay tuned. Hello, and welcome to Screecher Report.